good, good, good morning, time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all.
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live
podcast.
On this podcast, we talk about mindset, mindfulness, productivity, everything self-development. Last week, we talked about make your husband, Bryan, your guru.
That's not what it is. Make your partner your guru.
Okay. I thought I was just always your guru.
Well, are you everybody's husband? Bryan, your husband.
No comment. So I kind of like lists. When I see like top 10 lists, I think they're fun. And Jessie is a big fan of Joshua Becker and his work at Becoming Minimalist, which is a blog. And
a Netflix documentary. They have a podcast, I believe.
I think they do as well. So his newsletter hit my inbox, and it was 100 simple ways to immediately improve your life. So I was like, you know, it would be fun if we did a podcast where we both pick our top 5, and then we don't share them, and we share them on the podcast live, and we see if there's any crossover and kind of see, you know, what spoke to us. Now, there was stuff on there like meditate and things like that. We tried to make this more, not just a traditional one that you would see.
Yeah, I kind of, after I picked them, I realized that I think that I chose things that are always growth edges for me, that I know when I do them, they do make my life happier, but that I need to work harder to bring to fruition. So,
okay. So the game plan here.
I feel like it's like a game show.
Yeah, we like, I can go
Come on down.
I can go first, and then I'll riff on for 2 seconds why I picked it.
Okay.
And then you go.
Okay.
Sounds
like a plan. Let's do it.
So my first one was find time for solitude.
I picked that one too.
Aha. So we can
so we both riff? Right,
then we both riff. So one of the biggest things I got out of my career in ultra running and what spoke to me so much was those hours in the woods in solitude. People say that all the time, like to marathon runners and whatnot, like, what do you think about the whole time? I found so much growth and so much like peace from that time in solitude in this crazy world that we live in. So that was one that spoke to me. Why did it speak to you?
I think because I'm craving it recently.
Wonder why.
Time by myself and, time for reflection, time for journaling, time for thought. I've been using our infrared sauna. We've had that sucker for 10 years now?
8 years.
8 years. And I used to use it all the time, and I've gotten away from it. And sitting in that sauna when I'm locked in a box and no one can get to me, I feel like has been my beautiful time. I've been doing 30 minutes in there, and I forgot how nice it feels to meditate and to journal and to just have time to think. And so finding time in solitude is a growth edge for me, but something that I know when I do makes me feel really good.
Cool.
So you get it. I'm working on it.
Yes. All right. What's your next one then?
So my first one, and I did it in order of how they were listed, so there's no reason to this, but was drink more water.
You've gotten better at that.
I've gotten so good. So Bryan randomly gave me one of these bougie Stanley cups that I didn't really know was a trend thing. He saw it in Dick's and just picked it up for me. And so I have this 40 ounces of water goodness, and I've been trying to get through that every single day. I know that when I drink water, first of all, when I drink water first thing in the morning, it helps regulate my bowel movements. It makes me feel lighter. I feel like my digestion, it gets off to a great start. My skin looks better. I get really bad headaches, and my headaches go away. So there are wonderful things that happen when I drink water. I just have to remember to do it. And so that is a growth edge for me, but one that makes me feel happy and healthy.
Yes. The ultimate health elixir is water.
I know. And because you wake up, I think I said this on the podcast before, you wake up, you lose a gallon of water while you're sleeping. And so you already wake up dehydrated before you even start your day.
Yeah. You are a poor water drinker.
So if you are also a poor water drinker, cheers. Because Bryan drinks a tub of water a day.
All right. My next one was smile at yourself in the mirror. That one just jumped out at me. Well, I'm very bullish on self-talk and doing things that make you proud. When I do something that makes me feel proud inside, I just feel like I'm just happier. And I think sometimes, just taking that second to actually see yourself in the mirror and smile and acknowledge, I love you. Self-love to me is so important. I think all of us need more of it. You can't love somebody else until you love yourself. So I think that just that little act of just like truly smiling at yourself in the mirror is important. So
Can't
I like
wait to
that
see
one.
that when I walk in and you're brushing your teeth. But I do that. I try to do that. I try to compliment something about myself physically every morning when I'm getting ready. I feel like that's the only time we're really staring in the mirror is when you're like blow drying your hair or doing something. And so it's easy to look at flaws at that time, but that's a perfect example of a time for you to like double down on the things that you do love about yourself. And if you can focus your attention on that, I feel like it definitely, I don't know, feels a lot better than if you're like, oh, look at that blemish, or I can't believe I have a wrinkle here. Like instead of focusing on those things.
Yes.
Give yourself some love.
All right. What's next for you?
I put watch the sunset,
Oh,
which is funny because I think I've told you also on this podcast that my biggest strength when I did a strength assessment was appreciation of beauty.
yes.
And when we are in Florida, I think we pretty much hit the sunset or see the sunset every single day when we're down there. So for 6 weeks, we had these magnificent purples and oranges and, you know, brightly colored skies with our kids, either on the beach or out back. And I just feel like it's that wonder, that awe, that sense of peace, and just that overwhelming sense of calm. And I don't know why, but we don't do it as often when we're at home in Pennsylvania.
Well, we don't have the.
But we also don't have a view.
We don't have the best sunset view from our house.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to make it an effort to enjoy sunrises and sunsets because it's just, I don't know, I feel like you cannot be in a bad mood when you are witnessing that sense of awe and wonder.
I like it.
All right, next.
Next for me is keep a 3-sentence journal. I love goals that it's just like you have the bottom floor. It's like people that say like, I don't have time to meditate. Well, have like the bare minimum is like 2 breaths or like 1 minute of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's so much good that can come out of journaling that just doing on your nightstand, having a little book and just writing 3 sentences. You know, obviously in the 3x5 cards, you're like 3 wins for the day is kind of that same type of process. Mm-hmm. But that like quick reflection on the day just sets the mood going into the evening routine, at least for me.
I like it. I like that baby step.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my next one is listen to uplifting music, which is, I mean, Bryan knows, I don't think that there's like a minute of my day that doesn't have a playlist playing in the background. We always have music at home. When I'm doing school with the kids, I have like classical calm music. I think my life is basically a playlist. And sometimes I feel like I'm a DJ. So my favorite thing about teaching yoga was to make my yoga playlists. And just today I was at tennis and I was at a point play clinic, and the pro, I was like, hey, what are your thoughts about me bringing a speaker and making a nice, like fun morning tennis playlist? He was like, go for it. So when I have music playing, I love to dance. I love to sing. The kids and I have dance parties every morning. Like you can't not be in a good mood when you are dancing. So I just think bringing more music in your life is always a good idea. And if you need a playlist, I'm your girl.
Yes, you do love playlists.
I do love a good playlist. I have like 100 on our Spotify.
All right. My next one is laugh. One of my goals last year was to laugh more, like true belly laughing. Like I don't think I do that enough. And Jessie just the other day read the stat, like a 6-year-old laughs like 300 times a day, where like 30, 40-year-old laughs like 6 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It was like 600. A 6-year-old laughs 600 times a day.
Yeah, something like that. So don't quote our stats here.
No.
They laugh a lot right. compared to adults.
They're very happy.
Yes. So just finding more laughter, more joy. That was like legitimately something that I said to some of my buddies. It's like, I need help with this. I need help laughing more often. I'm not a serious guy, but I just think it's really fun to laugh, and I need to let myself laugh more.
You were giggling this morning about some type of text exchange that you were having. Yes. I heard you.
There was some heavy giggles this morning.
Yes.
I'm in this Marco Polo group, and it was funny.
So there you go. You got your quota for the day.
Yes. All right. What's next for you?
Okay. So this one is kind of something we've talked about and drilled home 1,000 times, but creating a morning routine. If I could say, actually 2 things. I would say sleep is the number one indicator like of happiness and health and vitality.
Yes.
That is for me the biggest needle changer. Like if I know I'm going to have a good day or not, whether I sleep. But I think that starts with your morning routine, which doesn't make sense. But like setting your day up in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. When I move my body in the morning and I do my meditation and I drink my water and I drink my athletic greens and I do all these things that I know are putting into my energy tank, then at the end of the day, I'm able to sleep better and I just have, more energy and just feel better. So again, growth edge, because the days I do it, it changes the trajectory of my day. I'm more patient. I'm, have more energy for my kids. I feel like I'm in a better mood. But I sometimes make excuses or just like don't get it done. And I feel a difference. So growth edge, create a morning routine.
Yep.
That one is a game changer. I really feel that way.
Yep. I agree.
There's no judgmental comments coming from you, Brian Stewart.
We're not in a parent-child relationship.
No, we're not.
Here.
We're in a partnership.
We're in a partnership.
All right,
Yes.
what's your last one? This has to be 5.
Last one
I think you did 6.
No.
All right, go ahead.
This is my 5th.
Okay, you started though.
Hug your spouse a little longer.
Oh, now I feel bad for giving you a schmack.
I think it's like hug your spouse and hug your kids a little longer. We were at a conference in Austin. And was it Preston Smiles talking about that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. He was like one of the speakers there. And he was talking about like I don't want to use the word.
The biological impact and
of
benefits.
for 30-second hugs.
Yes.
And how important those are. And like the energies that are exchanged when you have a longer, more endearing hug.
And your heart rates will start to match each other and you just become like more in sync. Like biologically you become in sync, but then it like creates this, sorry, I hijacked your last one.
No. Well, I mean, so we had to had this hugging exercise there where there was like 30 people on one side of the room, 30 people on the other side of the room. The other side had their eyes closed and you just found somebody and hugged them. And there's a lot of dudes in the room. So you're just like, which is fine. Like, so I'm just like hugging another guy for like 10 minutes.
It was like a good 10. Yeah, it was 10 minutes.
I mean, my legs were getting weak. Like,
it
was a process.
We don't hug for 10 minutes, but we have been trying in the mornings to hug for long enough that we like, and it's funny because when we first started doing it, it's a little awkward to just like stand in your kitchen and hug for that period
Jessie
of time.
always tries to back way before me.
That's not true. But
eject.
we both started noticing that like after a good 10, 15 seconds, we would take this big deep breath and just be like, and then like settle in. But before that, your body's like tense and you don't feel like you're actually settling into the hug. So we challenge you to give yourselves and your, spouse or someone who you love or care about, your kid, it doesn't matter, any relationship. Just try to hold that hug a little longer and don't press the eject button. All
right, your last one.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah, that's why you did 6. Guys, fact check. I think you did 6. But the last one was good and it was about me. So
yeah,
I feel
exactly.
It was a
so
joint one.
we'll put a link to this list in the show notes. So you guys can check it out and pick your 5 that speak to you, or it was just fun to kind of like read through. Anything that can make
maybe this can be our April goal, is to take these 5 things and try to focus our attention on them.
All right, let's do it. I'm in.
All
right, guys. Until next pod, have a fantastic week.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
We are all looking